More. Let's take you back then, Chris, to that first half and Andy Gray getting Charlton off to the start they really needed.
They did, and they played particularly well in sort of the last 20 minutes of the first half. And Lloyd Sam, fantastic play, held the ball up. A good ball in by Semedo, and they got the goal that they wanted, and it settled everyone down.
Just gets the right side, doesn't he, of Darren Powell?
He does. I mean, Darren's actually been training at Charlton for the past 2 months, but never got himself a contract. So I know Andy Gray would have known about Darren, and Darren didn't have a particularly good night for him. But Andy Gray stuck it away well.
Charlton came out and played pretty well in that second half as well, Chris. And you were saying, I hope we're not going to rue these missed chances, particularly from Hammer Bouatsa.
Well, Hammer's got a very, very good left foot. And as we see here, he just got it over the wall, but just didn't dip down. And then he made a fantastic run, a good ball through. Just needed to show a bit more composure on his chance. But, he was getting in there. And a good save there by Bywater. But I was saying, as you mentioned, that they may regret missing him, which obviously they have.
Well, maybe Derby have a case for saying that they deserved to have a goal that was chalked out, which wasn't offside. What do you think?
It wasn't offside. It was good play by Stewart and Chris Commons. Ellington just fed the ball. Maybe they're thinking it's there, but when he plays it and receives the ball, he's not offside.
Maybe he
tries to shoot.
What do you think?
Well, I think he's onside. He's onside. It's a cross shot, and Tills followed it in, and really that should have been a goal.
A couple of minutes later, Andy D'Urso does give them a penalty. One of these which looks sometimes you're not sure about whether it's deliberate handball or whether the arm is away from the body. What do you think on that one?
I think it's a harsh decision, and whether Andy, before disallowing the goal, it looks more ball to hand.
Why is his hand out there?
Well, it's just his balance. If you look at him, he's just off balance, but...
And then here we see the Charlton players trying to tell Rob Elliott to stand still because they know what Ellington's going to do.
Well, I've got to say, I think he's the penalty master because he's so calm. He just waits for the keeper to make his move.
What happens there if the keeper stands absolutely still? It's not the most powerful penalty in the world, is it?
It's not, no, but I think he gets you off balance. I think he just looks, and if you look at Rob Elliott, he can't push off to either side because he's been put off balance by Nathan Ellington's run and placement.
Looking for plus points for this evening. I'm sure Charlton will be when they're picking the bones out of this later. The way they came back after conceding in such disappointing fashion.
I think what they showed tonight is they've got the desire and they've got the team and players to get themselves out of the predicament. And as you say, they bounced straight back, which was good because obviously they could have responded in the wrong way, but they managed to get a second goal.
Waghorn with the goal, but how much credit to Lloyd Sam here, Chris?
Well, it's all the credit to him because really he could have gone for goal. He kept calm, he made the right decision, and Waghorn finished and justified, his place in the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, both strikers changed this evening, both strikers in and both scoring. Andy Gray with his 7th of the season, and that is Martin Waghorn's first senior career goal. We're hearing, incidentally, Chris, that Phil Parkinson has lost his voice, so he's not hurrying out to speak to us. Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. I mean, he's a very good coach and a good manager, and he's managed to get the team showing a bit more commitment than they've been showing of late. And obviously, if they carry on in the same vein over the Christmas period, I'm sure they'll push up.
Well, let's have a look who they've got next. They've got Norwich away, then Queen's Park Rangers at home, and then Sheffield United away before the new year. And from what we're being told, Parkinson will be in charge of those three. What do you think he might need out of those three to carry on the job for longer than that?
Well, for him, I'm sure he'd want 3 wins, But they go to Norwich, where Norwich are in the lower reaches of the division at the moment. If they can carry on how they played tonight, away from home, which will be, a lot more difficult for them. And then QPR, Boxing Day, I believe, home game, big London derby. If they can get 7 points, I think, he could be maybe looking at keeping the job.
Are you in any way encouraged by what you have seen here from a Charlton perspective?
I am, because a lot of people have said to me the previous games were quite abject, really, and there was no pride in the shirt. There was no commitment from the players. They didn't look as if they were up for the fight. But from tonight's performance, I think they've got the stomach for it. There's plenty of games to go, so I feel they still have a chance.
Well, let's have another look at the goal that broke Charlton hearts and probably will break Grant Basie's heart as well when he has another look at this.
Well, I'm sure Grant will feel that he had to go for it. It's in the penalty area, it's the last minute. You know, he will not leave it if there's no shout. Obviously, I'm sure he wishes he was 6'4" instead of 6'2". So, great finish by Ellington. There's no denying that. And Rob Elliott, I should give a mention to him because I think he only had one real shot to save tonight. You know, he's conceded two, but he done quite well. And you know, I'm sure the boys that started the game will start the next game as well.
They still believe, don't they? They think they're staying up, but does it get harder, especially in the way they are conceding goals so painfully?
It does get harder because the more you look back on games like tonight and then you look at the table tomorrow morning and you see you've only got a point, but you've moved up one place, but you're still looking and thinking if we've got the extra two, then we're only 2 points behind the side that's fourth from bottom. And there's plenty of if-onlys. So what the boys have got to do is look on the positive side, look on the positives from tonight. They created lots of chances, didn't take them all. And obviously, if they did, they would have run out winners. But I'm sure the fans will be going home, obviously a bit upset with the equaliser, but saying they've seen a Charlton team back to what they like here. You know, the fans like the players to show pride and they like them to play. And, you know, they showed that tonight.
I mentioned that there is a gap now between Derby and the bottom three as well. There is 11 points, though, perhaps more significantly, Chris, between Derby and the playoff places. Do you think they will still be thinking about that at this stage? We're halfway through.
Well, they can do. I mean, you look at teams over the years in the Championship, Crystal Palace many years back with Ian Dowie and Roy Keane when he took over. If you get on a run in this league, and I'm sure Paul Jewell will be saying to himself, we can get on a run. They didn't play particularly well tonight, Derby, but they can say to themselves, if we have a good Christmas or we carry on and get the wins at home and maybe pick up points away, you can get up there for definite. I mean, Wolves, Birmingham and Reading look like they're battling it out for the top two, but the other four spots are up for grabs.
And very